I want to confess the things that I did when I was still working in KZN before I had relocated to my country, Zimbabwe, the witchcraft that I was using. I want to confess the rituals that I did, and I ended up using my daughter so that I could find favor at the farm where I was working so that the white people, they can love me. Listen to what I did, and if you have a dream of ever working on a farm, you need to know that in the farms, witchcraft, it is a lot. Hello, brother, I have come to confess about the ritual wealth seeking that I performed. I am a 50-year-old man currently living in my country here in Zim, in a place that is called Chiredzi. My whole story, it goes on like this. I was working at a sugarcane plantation here in Chiredzi before I had even thought about going to South Africa. As you know, that working on a farm, sometimes some of the people that you can start with, they would be given better roles and promotions than you. As for me, the job that I started doing when I first got hired remained exact the same one. I was never recognized as having experience, nor was I ever made a supervisor or a manager. Meanwhile, others I joined with, I saw some being made supervisors, and one man of my age was made a manager. Whilst I just watched, I remained stuck where sugarcane was being crushed, and it is very hard labor. I wanted to be a supervisor so that I can supervise others, those that were working. So I decided to talk about the issue, and I was told by an old man whom I had confided in regarding my lack of promotion at work. This old man told me about a traditional healer in Mozambique who gives people medicine for luck at work so that they will be liked by white people. And in the farm, you are at a competition. Every day you are competing at work so that the white boss can recognize you. Even if your white boss greets you in the farm, it's like you have seen heaven on earth. So that is the culture when you are working in the farm. Now this old man was a farmer, and he had his own harvest charm so that he can have a lot of crops. We used to see him harvesting and taking huge amounts of maize to go and sell. He also had a homestead that was full of cattle. He had cars. However, his sons, they never got married. They were like zombies. They were like people that were mad, and the girls, they remained unmarried. We used to think that it was just a family curse before I knew that their father had a charm that he was using to steal from other people. It's like a tokoloshi that can steal money from someone's wallet, but this tokoloshi that he was using, it would only steal crops from your field, and then it will put those crops into his field. So this is how he managed to have crops to sell each and every day for the rest of the year. So when I was told by this old man to go to this other man that was in Mozambique, arrangements were made for my journey. I went to Mozambique, to the place that I had been given directions to by the old man, and I arrived at that traditional healer's place. When I arrived, this Sekuru called me by my name, and I was surprised because he did not even know me by my first name. All that I heard was, "Gilbert, I know you have come here. You have arrived at the hospital. Nothing fails here. I will give you luck to be favored by any white people, but you must make your child to be disabled." This means that your child will live with a severe disability for the rest of their life. That is how this luck works. That is what this Sekuru said. So I agreed to do whatever that I was told because I was tired of being looked down upon by others at work whilst I remained at the bottom as they were moving up the ladder. I was then asked by the Sekuru to state my daughter's name. I spoke her name, and my daughter appeared in the Sekuru's mirror. After that, I was told to strike my daughter's legs. The Sekuru then gave me a small stick, which I then used to strike my daughter's legs. I was instructed to hit them only 3 times. which I did. The sangoma then said, my son, your task is done. You have now good luck. You will see at work that you will be favored by any white people that will see you. White people will even beg you to come and work for them. They will never mistreat you. They will love you and receive special treatment from your white bosses. Go in peace and work, my son. I was then given that small stick and I was told to keep it on me wherever I went to. The small stick could fit right into my trousers pocket. I then returned home to Chirezi. When I returned back to my village, my wife was crying. Why are you crying, woman? She explained that our child had suddenly became disabled. All of a sudden, my child was unable to walk. I comforted my wife whilst I was smiling, because secretly I knew that I was the one who had bewitched my child to make her to become a disabled girl. We later clashed with my wife because she said that she wanted we should consult with spiritual healers to find out what had caused the children's disability. That was when I misled her, saying that I would look for a prophet to come and to help our child so that our child can walk again. I actually sought out a fake prophet whom I paid because my wife was constantly insisting that I was not trying to find help for our child. The fake prophet just performed a fake ritual that I had told the prophet to perform so that my wife can be convinced. I had made a deal with him because I wanted my wife to stop pressing about getting help for the child. From the time the fake prophet came, my wife stayed quiet for a while. At work, I was immediately promoted to become a manager and my salary severely improved. But as for what I actually accomplished with that money, there is nothing. I have nothing tangible to show for it. I disabled my daughter when she was 10 years old, and it lasted until she was 22 years old, which is when my ritual practices were exposed. My daughter's disability was so severe that she could not walk at all and had to crawl on her belly. So what happened was this year, it was in May, some prophets were driving past my house and their car got stuck in the sand. They needed something to dig from my house so that they can be able to dig out the wheels out of the sand. You know how village dirt roads are. So when those prophets came to my house, they saw my daughter. They asked for my wife and they said that they were looking for a tool that they could use to dig. But then said that they wanted to help my child from her inflicted disability. The prophets went outside of the yard saying they were going to deliver her from the spell. They poured ritual water on my daughter and she immediately began to rejoice. The prophets left their phone number and then they went to wherever place they were headed to. This happened whilst I was at work. So that small stick, remember, that I brought with me from Mozambique, my small stick, it is like a monitoring spirit. If I place it at your doorstep, it will start to give me a vision of everything that you will be doing and saying in your house. So my small stick, it then started to inform me of everything that was happening at home. So when I went home already, I knew what had transpired. When I came back home and I tried to enter the yard, I instantly became disabled in the same exact way that my daughter had been. The luck has turned against me and my medicine, they are not working. This small stick, it is now a snake. It once became a snake when I was in South Africa working in KZN. So I surrendered my rituals items when I was struck by the same disability that I had placed on my daughter. I called the prophet who had delivered my daughter. The prophet came, killed the snake, but the snake disappeared and told me to confess just like I have done to you. I confessed it all, Brother Nash. I told them everything, some of the stories that I have not yet even written in this first confession, and they delivered me from the disability I had suffered. So the disability, Brother Nashi, it is now back. I don't know if those prophets, if they are just using magic. They used magic because we paid them some money and we gave them some cows, but the problem is back. So, Brother Nashi, I want you to look for another sangoma that can assist me. Dear listeners, that was the first message that was sent to us by our dear brother. He then continued and he said, I have come back again. If you still remember, I explained to you that the prophet who came to my house helped me to become okay, but now I am back at where we started. I can't walk properly. So let me tell you some of the things that happened when I was working in KZN by the time that I was using my daughter for rituals. Before I had even thought about settling down and starting my own business that never ever gave me anything but women only that were coming to me, and I would sleep with them. I went to South Africa. When I went there, I arrived in KwaZulu-Natal province. I was working in a place where there are a lot of sugarcane plantation. I'll say that I was staying in a farm in Pongola. So when I was working in KZN, sugarcane, it is extremely hard. And we were working with a lot of Mozambicans. There were plenty of them right there. So seeing how difficult things were, I then sought out a Zulu old man who was also a traditional healer. Me and this sangoma, we started to work together. This old man, he was fake. So I also started to act as a fake sangoma amongst the other workers that I was living within their compound, and I would give them some ritual charms and I would assist them. So I then found out that on the next farm there was a man that was from Mozambique. This man, he did not like me at all. He went and he reported the matter to the white man who loved me quite a lot. He was surprised to learn that I was doing things of being a sangoma, and he said that I had broken his heart because he had even bought an Afrikaans Bible for me so that I can read it. I then went to that Mozambican guy's house, and then I put some charms on his doorsteps. And I was like, we are not even working together, but you have told my boss that I am practicing as a sangoma, something that he does not like. Within 2 weeks, that Mozambican foreman, he started to run mad. He was talking to trees. He was talking to people that were not even them. Eventually, they took him to the hospital again in KZN. Eventually, he ended up passing away in that same hospital, and that was the end of the story. So I thought, when I killed that Mozambican man who was working on the farm right next door, one day I wanted to go to town, so I did not have money for taxi. I was going to hike. The person that was going to give me money was someone that had an STI. We were going to meet in town, so he was going to give me money. I was just standing waiting for any white farmer that will be going to town so that they can pick me up. That was when I managed to get a lift from the farmer's wife. And you know, those women, they do not pick up any person. Even if you are working right next door, they will never pick you up. But that woman, she picked me up and we started to talk. I did not even sit at the back of the wagon. She said, sit in front. She then said to me that she was really sad that the foreman had passed away, and now they were struggling to replace that man because he was working very hard. And she was going to speak with her husband, the boss, to see if I could come to the farm and I could work and take over the position as the foreman. It was really surprising, Brother Nashi, because this was a white woman who did not even know me. And she just knew that I was working right next door after I had told her that I was working at the farm at the gate where she had picked me up. and she was going to recommend me to her own husband. So the next day, I then went and I saw the farmer, and it was very surprising that they even took me inside and we started to talk. They gave me a cup of coffee and some biscuits, and they said that they had hired me. So the charm that I had gotten in Mozambique was the one that was working on them, and they did not even understand what was happening. Whenever I would try to sleep after I started working, this would happen at night. I would see that Mozambican man, he would be crying, "Gilbert, Gilbert, you killed me. Gilbert, Gilbert, you killed me. You took my life so that you can take my job on the farm. My spirit will never rest until your life and your family are completely destroyed." So since I was staying alone, I would just cry throughout the night, having sleep paralysis up to this very day. Even though I returned back to my country, Brother Nashi, that Mozambican man, he still follows me wherever I go to. There are times whenever I enter into a dark room, I can even see him, and then he disappears. I was also using a charm that is called Bekamina, and I was using rabbit urine as well. And I caused a lot of marriages to break up, whether they were South African or Mozambicans or Zimbabweans. Those that were unfortunate to stay in the same compound that I was staying in, they ended up breaking up. Something that I have not yet even told you. My story, it is too long. You can even write a book about the rituals that I did there in South Africa. When I was there, Brother Nashim, many men, they would come to me and I would assist them. It started with another guy who told me that he was not strong in bed. I went with him to the village where he was staying. Brother Nash, his wife, she was so beautiful, and I fell in love with her. I tried to tell him that I wanted her numbers, but I was afraid because she did not communicate with me back. I then went to town and I bought a charm that is called Begamina Ngedwa, and I mixed it with rabbit urine so that whenever I would wipe my face after mixing that charm with the rabbit urine, it forces a woman to look at you only and no longer wanting to see any other man under the sun, and she will say, "I want to sleep with you right now, even in public." So when I returned back to that village, me and that woman, we met. And I asked her if her husband was around. And then she said, "Why do you want my husband when I am here?" I asked her if there was any other place where we could go and make love. She said, "No, let us go into the bushes because I can't control myself." As we were standing, that woman, she was just tapping her leg. I asked him, "Why are you tapping your feet like that?" And she told me that she was too hot and she wanted a man to sleep with her in that moment. I saw that this was an opportunity and I went with her into the bushes. She even cried when I said that we don't have a protection to use. She said, "Let us just do it. I don't care even if you make me to be pregnant." She was crying throughout the time that we were making love. It was not like original love, but she was under the possession of that rabbit urine because it is very powerful when I was using it. And if I would sleep with a woman, a married woman, like I did with that woman, she ran away from her husband. She ended up staying in Joburg. I don't know where she is right now. So she just left her husband. So right now, Brother Nashim, I am sitting here in my house and I am a crippled man. I will never be okay unless if your people find someone for me. I have messed up in Zim. I killed someone in South Africa. The demons that are chasing after me, they are quite a lot. I am pleading with anyone that is going to come across my confession, please pray for me. I regret everything that I have done in my life. I know that I sinned against God. I destroyed so many lives in KZN, and I destroyed my daughter's life, and God is now punishing me. Please, if you know anyone that can assist me, advise me where to turn to. I am supposed to go to Mozambique. The snake told me, and it said, if you want to see what I am going to do to you, how much damage I can do to you, go ahead and go to Mozambique. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a translation of the message that our brother sent to us. Let us speak with our brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Imagine what that woman in KZN went through when she met our brother, and then she said, let us go into the bushes right now because I need you, even if you make me pregnant. Your African magic. Let us talk about this in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.